Hi everyone! Before we begin, I want to let you know that this podcast is for informational and inspirational purposes only. The advice and insights shared here are based on my personal experiences and expertise, but they are not a substitute for professional, medical, psychological, or business advice. If you are dealing with a specific issue, please consult a qualified expert. And thanks for watching. Hi, and welcome to Hope, Healing and Transformation. I'm Lisa Williams, and I am your host of this podcast. On a recent episode, I did a reading with Nancy, a woman who had survived incredible trauma in her life. In that reading, I connected with Nancy's 40-year-old stepbrother, Billy. He'd committed a double murder-suicide. On a tragic evening many years ago, Billy shot and killed his mother first, then Nancy's father, and then ultimately himself. Billy had gotten involved and mixed up with a gang, money, drugs, and of course violence followed, ultimately ending in a double murder-suicide. But that's only the beginning of Nancy's story. In today, the second part of the reading with Nancy, I talk with her mother and her stepfather, both whom are in spirit, and what they revealed to me, and what Nancy confirms is unspeakable. Let me bring your mom in. Did your mom often get cold?
No.
I don't know why, because I'm like, all of a sudden I want to bring up my blanket again around me, and I feel cold for some reason. Unless you've got your mom's blanket, I've no idea what that is. Okay.
I sleep with my mom's blanket.
Now I understand, because I was like, why? Yes. Right at the beginning, I put this blanket on and I'm like, why do I want to have my blanket? And it's you. So you have your mom's blanket. Okay. Now I understand why I've got my blanket here. Thank you. Your mom is telling me that Jack took your life. You are still living, but he took your life. Thank you. He took the enjoyment from your life. Does that make sense?
Yes.
This is not Jack telling me this is your mom. Your mom is also telling me there was massive amounts of abuse. And that's what he's given me. And I'm so sorry with what she's saying. And what I feel here is that this has been a huge undertaking for you. And your mom is showing me that you weren't the only one. Does that make sense?
That's true.
And that there were others.
Yes, that's true.
And what
others in our family.
Yes. And what I'm also being shown is, thank you. When I said that your dad had PTSD, I feel as though it was Jack that had PTSD. All right?
I would think so.
Your dad, Jack, had huge amounts of PTSD, and that I feel like, thank you, that this was the cycle of abuse that happened. Jack is not the type of person to actually admit when something was wrong. And
No.
what he's showing me is that this is why your mom is having to tell you what is really going on, because Jack would never admit when something is
No.
the wrong thing.
Never.
However, in many ways, you have always supported Jack. In
I
whatever
didn't
it,
have a choice.
in whatever it may be, you supported him because of your mom.
Thank you. Thank you.
And your mom recognizes that you only did it for her. And she just said that he ruined your birthday. And there was a time that, whatever it might be, but she's showing me here that she also allowed him to do this. And she is apologizing for her part that was played in this. I'm sorry.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much.
Just sharing what I'm getting. Your mom wants to apologize deeply about this because your mom felt like she hid what was going on, because she's saying she knew.
Yes.
And she didn't know how to deal with it.
Correct.
And there was a turning a blind eye.
Yes.
Do you have a sister?
Possibly.
Well, here's what
I was.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. I was told at one point in time my mom had given birth to a little girl.
Okay. What I'm being shown here is your mom didn't know how to protect even herself from this man. That actually she was in a very big cycle of abuse with him as well.
I'm sure.
And she's just said that you have, and here's the beautiful thing, Nancy, is that you, through your cycle of abuse and through your tragedies from not only your dad, your stepbrother, and your mom and your stepdad, thank you, that she's showing me here that you have become very resilient, and you actually, I'm not saying that you help other people, but you've given yourself to actually share your story to other people.
Correct.
And it's interesting because earlier on when I took my wedding rings off, I was like, why am I taking these off? And she literally just showed me you took them off because she wanted to take hers off many times. But she couldn't do it. And she just said that I don't want to say this, but she passed in pain. Your mum passed with pain and shame about what happened. Now, do I like to say that to somebody? No, I don't. But she wants you to know how much pain she was in and how much shame she had because of what was going on and how she couldn't protect you. Do you understand that?
I do. Thank you.
Can I ask, was he also physically abusive and violent?
Yes. Yes.
Because he's showing me that he was physically violent.
Yes.
To the point I feel like your mum feared her life.
We all did. We all did.
And I'm feeling like I don't really want to bring this up, and I don't want you to relive it. But he is showing me, okay, and it's his energy right now that he is showing me, and I'm using these words, and this is what he's giving me, the monster that he was. And I feel that there was a huge amount of anger within him, and I feel like, in today's day and age, we have lots of names for things, and we have lots of diagnoses, and we have lots of ways of being able to not necessarily heal, but we have lots of ways of being able to help ourselves. I feel that he had deep mental issues, and this disease of alcoholism was the big factor, but it also took away from whatever pain he was going through. And he was a victim of abuse as well, is what I'm being shown. And I don't know where it was, with whether it was you or him, but was there ever any moment where that someone was trapped in a room or tied up in a room?
He would trap me in a room quite often.
Because he's showing me being trapped in a room, and I don't want to bring.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
This man wasn't just physically abusive; he was also sexually abusive. Correct? Because that's what I'm being shown. God, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Jack, you're on the hot seat. He's just said this happened to him. And he is sorry. He is so sorry for what happened. And his words are, I didn't know how to control myself. I knew what was wrong, but he still continued. And I feel Saturday, for some reason, I don't know whether it was always a Saturday or what, but I feel as though Saturdays were the worst.
Yes.
I need your mum to stop protecting him and stepping in front.
That might never happen.
She's really protective of him.
Yes, she is.
I mean, really protective of him, to the point that she speaks for him.
When he passed, that's all she did was speak about him day and night.
Right. She's speaking for him.
Yeah.
And
she glorified him.
Oh. In my work, I will tell you, I see it so many times where people put these people who have passed away on this pedestal, and because they don't want to see what they really were. And they suddenly become a saint. And it was the thing, because she's trying to speak for him, she's stepping in front of him, and he has just said, I can speak for myself. Thank you. She just said that I lived in fear of being hurt as well. And also the neighbors knew. Other people in the neighborhood knew as well. And so as much as we knew this, other people in the neighborhood knew. And it's interesting because there was no way that you could, you had no way to escape. And actually, what your dad just said, and I'm sorry, I'm going to use some language, but you got both fucked up parents, and that was your dad literally just said that.
Sure. Well, basically my dad left when I was born, my real dad, and then my stepdad came in when I was 8 years old and was in my life until I turned 28. So, and then when my dad came back into my life, yeah, it was a whirlwind, trying to put all the pieces together of all these people.
It is very much a puzzle piece here for me as well. There's
sure.
so many different avenues here. But Jack is apologizing to you. He does want to say thank you for supporting him, however, but he wants to apologize because he's just said, I caused havoc.
Yeah. Yes.
I caused havoc. And he wasn't telling me what he was saying at the beginning, what he was sorry for, but he just said, I'm just sorry for what he put you through. And then it was your mom that had to explain that. He's just said, of course I admit what I did. I don't have to continually live it though.
Okay.
He said, you are continually living it.
Yes, I relive it every day.
He said, it's not been wiped clean here, but I'm healing. He said, I'm healing what I went through. Therefore, I'm also healing what you went through and others. This wasn't just you. Tell me what else. But he's apologizing for it. He was never really aware of what he was really doing.
Because of the alcohol.
Because of the alcohol.
Probably. Yes.
And he just keeps showing me that this had a bigger impact than what you know. He's just saying it had a massive impact. And it was all alcohol. There's something about him being hit on the head. I don't know whether he'd been hit on the head by did his father do this to him?
I have no idea. I don't know his family or
That's
history.
What he's showing me. He's showing me that his father did exactly the same.
Okay.
And that's what he's showing me. Thank you. He said, no excuse, but this was a cycle of abuse. And now your mum stepped in. And your mum has stepped in, and again, protection. And she just said, but you've got to know how much she loved you. And she tried, and you did so much for her.
Yes, I did.
And she
sacrificed
also
my life.
Well, she also just said that it was a big relief when he died.
It was a blessing.
It was the biggest relief when he died.
I prayed that he would go first.
And she just kept saying, even though she felt that way and said what she said, she was very relieved. And she only said it like that because she was felt guilty about thinking she's glad that he is gone. You're welcome. And she just said, thank you for articulating that. Yeah.
Does Jack feel remorse or just, I'm sorry? Does he feel remorse?
I'm using his words now. He said remorse isn't a word that we would use here. However, in the physical world, yes, remorse is very important. There is a lot of remorse. But over here, he said, I have been punished more over here because I've had to live the abuse that I gave.
Thank you. Thank you. Because I have said numerous times, when I am gone, if I meet him, I will, wherever I am, I will walk away. I will not. I don't want to enter. I don't want to be him to be in my presence. And I do want him to suffer.
So everything I see, feel, hear, and do before any form of reading is important. And Ray will tell you this. I walked in today with a glass. And at 10 o'clock this morning, I said, I want a beer. Now, I actually talked about my sobriety. And I've been alcohol-free for 2.5 years. And I literally said to Ray, I want a beer. And I don't know why I've bought this in. And the only beer I have is a non-alcoholic beer in my fridge. But and Ray will tell you, I literally was like, someone's the alcoholic today. Didn't I?
My goodness. My goodness. Can you tell me if somebody who was very close to me, who just passed tragically, unexpectedly, has come forward?
Okay. I just got to wipe your whole family clean right now.
This would be a man.
That's okay. What's their name?
Steve.
Oh, there's my Steve. There's my Steve. When you were going through Billy, Jack, and Joe, I was like, well, where's Steve? Where's Steve and Bob? I was waiting for you to say name Steve. All right. Right, and Steve passed very quickly. You understand that?
Yes, I do.
It's like he passed really, really suddenly. And was he younger than you as well?
No, he's older than I was.
He's older than you. He's got a young personality. He's got this vibrant personality. Yes. He's kind of like, I don't know. He acts like a kid, if I can say that. He's got this childlike energy. I do feel that he is. I also feel like he's part of the family. So I'm not sure if he was part of the family or if he was like an in-law. But I feel very. I feel like I'm very good with my hands. I'm not sure if I would like do mechanics or do woodwork or something. But I feel like I do.
He was a mechanic, and he was my husband.
Oh, it's him. I don't know whether you can see this. All right. Hold on. What I got here is this is something here that I got the son, and I put husband here as well. So I put mom, step, I don't know, mom, step, son, mom, and then husband. It literally was there.
Wow. Wow.
Let's go back to Steve. He's laughing and he's like, listen, he is the guy that is the rugged, rough and ready man. I feel as though he was the total like dude, if I can say that. You know, he was that. He reminds me of my husband, but I feel as though working with his hands, you know, that mechanic vibe, you know, that working with things. Yes. And he had quite thick hands, actually.
Yes.
And so, working with like small nuts weren't good for him. But I do feel as though his hands were hard. He struggled with his hands. So I don't know whether he struggled with arthritis or motor skills, but there's something about his hands.
Two fingers cut off.
Okay, so now you understand why I can't quite screw with my hands.
Exactly, unscrew, yes.
I don't know why I can't unscrew with my hands. And he's laughing here. You've still got his clothes. I don't know whether you've been sleeping with some of his shirts or his t-shirt or whatever, but and he's saying that are you sleeping on his side of the bed right now?
Yes.
Because he's just said that you sleep on his side of the bed.
Yes.
And he's showing me that he's with you here, and he's saying you talk to him all the time. Has he only been
I
gone
do.
in the last year?
7.
Last 7 years,
7.
is that right? Okay. Because he's showing me that he's only been gone a short period of time. If it's 7 years, it feels sooner. It feels, less than that. Oh, okay. He keeps showing me early mornings, bringing me into early morning. I don't know whether he loved the early morning. He rose really early, but I feel as though he struggled sleeping. All right, for some reason is what he's
Yes.
just told me.
Yes.
And he loved being up in the early morning. I felt like it gave him time to think. He was
Correct.
not, I feel as though also he didn't like late nights. It's like he was someone that you could almost set your watch to, actually. He
Yes.
really is. He's showing me you could set your watch to him. He's saying you were the greatest gift for him. You were the greatest person for him. You helped him out so much. And he's saying that it was a shock when he passed. It was a massive shock. He said it was a shock for him too. I want you to know it was a big shock for him too. He wasn't expecting his life to go like this. All right.
No.
And it just said that we were supposed to be doing all sorts of things, because I do feel as though you guys had planned a retirement and things like that.
Yes.
And
Yes.
he's really showing me that he never got that. And he's laughing here, not laughing at that, but he's laughing because he's just that fun guy,
Yes.
And he's saying that he said you gave him the best years of his life. You gave him
Thank
such an opportunity. You gave him the best years of his life, and you also gave him somewhat of freedom as well. I'm not sure why you gave him freedom, but you gave him freedom. And he wants to say thank you to that. He's saying thank you for talking to him, because you either talk to his photo. I don't know whether you have a photo up of and you
Yes,
sometimes,
I do. Yes, I do.
but he's giving me the fact that you talk to his photo, and that you're very you keep him going. He's also showing me music around him, so I feel as though sometimes you actually might pick up music, and there's signs from that. Thank you. And he's also giving me pennies, so you may also
And
get
he's
like
from heaven. Yes,
pennies
I
from heaven.
collect them.
Yep, because he keeps talking about that. And he's also saying then the repeating numbers. Do you ever get 11, 11 and 22, 22 or something like that?
I do not. No.
Watch for that as well, because he's just given me that. And he's just talked about a bird singing. Is there a bird outside of your house that sings?
The cardinals, the red
Okay,
birds.
because he just talks about he said that they would drive him absolutely insane. That would drive him crazy, but you love it,
Yes.
is what he's
Yes.
showing me.
Yes.
And he's laughing about it. He said, because you always say it's me. You always say it's all of us.
Always. Always.
By the way, you're not going anywhere anytime soon, is what he's just said. He said, you are not
Thank
going
you.
anytime soon. He doesn't want you to worry. So, whatever health issues that you have been going on or you may be worried about, he doesn't want you to concern yourself. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Because he's just said that he wants you to know this. Right. Thank you. Do you still have his wedding ring? Or did he lose it? Oh, you're wearing his wedding ring. Okay.
I lost mine,
Right.
and I was destroyed. And I went to our safe and I got his ring out,
And you're wearing
and
it.
I'm
He
wearing
just
it.
he just kept saying that he had one was lost, and then you still had his, and that's what something he showed me. Okay, and that's very important. It's very, very important for him for you to know that he loves it. He absolutely loves it.
Does he mention his daughter at all?
He's just said, I'll always be there for you.
He would tell me all the time, I'm not going anywhere. I promise you I'm not going anywhere. When he left me, that's what I screamed out. You said you'd never leave me.
He said, well, I'm always
here. But now I know he's there.
I'm always here for you. His daughter, he doesn't mention his daughter a lot, but he's actually just said, when you tell her I'm happy for her. I'm happy for her. He loves her a lot. This is not about her. This is about you.
Thank you.
But he's really happy for her. I don't know whether she's just had a baby or if there's some change in her life that she's about to encounter, but he's really happy for her.
Thank you. Yeah. She struggled a lot when he passed. Very, very, very struggled in bad ways.
He said, well, she's got her life together. Does that make sense then?
Yes.
He's very happy
yes, I'm
for
hoping.
her. He's very happy for her. She's got her life back together. Because he was giving me a new birth, that she had a new birth. And it may not be a birth, but it's a new opportunity.
A puppy? She has a puppy?
We can go with that. I'm going to say something different. No, I think she's started again. I think her new birth is her new opportunity of starting her life again.
That new life.
That's what he was showing me. Yeah.
Oh,
he's
Lisa.
blown you a kiss and he's just said he loves you very much.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Oh, I can breathe now.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. So I want to say thank you for joining me today on Hope, Healing and Transformation. And what a story. Sometimes we never know what's going to happen in a reading. And people's lives are layered. You know, grief is huge. I never know what's going to happen in a reading. And I always am very aware, for those of you who are budding psychics and mediums out there in the world, always be aware of everything you see, feel, hear, and do. The fact that I had to grab this blanket before I started the reading and she has her mother's blanket on her bed, whatever it is, you know, be aware of that. I just hope that today's reading has had an impact on you. And I'm sorry if it's triggered you or it's made you, if it's too raw, but please know healing is out there, help is out there, that you don't have to go through this alone. And please remember that you are the most important person in your life and that you have to start trusting your intuition. If you are ever in situations where you feel abused or you need help, there are helplines out there. There are hotlines that can help you. Go to the nearest police station, whatever it is. You do not have to live in fear of your living the best life that you need to. So for me, I'm sending you so much love. Remember that hope is an opportunity for us to grow and to see that what our life can be. Healing is letting go and moving forward, but taking the lessons that we have learned in today forward. And then the transformation is really becoming the person that you're always meant to be. For me, my name is Lisa Williams, and I'll see you again next time. Thank you so much for joining me today. And remember, the information shared on this podcast is meant to inspire and support you, but it's not a replacement for personalized advice from a qualified professional. If you enjoyed this episode, please share it with someone who might benefit. And don't forget to tune in next time. Until then, take care and keep believing in something better.